I'm not a perfect man, but all my life, I've lived with one rule, and that is, respect for one another. I never thought I'd live long enough to see the day my own son would embarrass me in front of my family. I'm 67 years old. My wife passed away 9 years ago, and ever since, I've tried my best to keep our family together. I built a small company from scratch, a construction firm that has helped me give my children a good life. I have 3 children, John, my eldest son, and 2 daughters, Grace and Linda. They all grew up in comfort, went to good schools, and never lacked anything. John was always different, ambitious, outspoken, sharp. I was proud of that. I saw myself in him. But over the years, that ambition hardened into pride. He began to treat people like stepping stones, especially those he believed were beneath him. One of those people was Mary, our maid. Mary isn't just an employee. She's been with our family for 21 years. She helped raise my children, cooked for them, cleaned after them, and stayed by my side when I lost my wife. She's family in every way that matters. Last month, I decided to host a family dinner at my home. It was supposed to be a celebration. John had just been promoted to regional manager at his company. Everyone came. Grace brought her husband and kids, Linda too. Even John arrived with his wife, Lydia, a woman I respect deeply. The house was filled with laughter, the smell of roasted chicken, soft music playing in the background. I sat at the head of the table, quietly observing the people I had sacrificed my entire life for. Mary, as usual, was serving. She moved slowly, her joints aren't what they used to be. When she came to pour wine for John, her hand trembled slightly. A drop spilled on John's expensive suit. The room went silent. John stared at her with disgust and said loudly, "Do you have any idea how much this suit costs? Probably more than what you've earned in your entire life." Mary froze. Her lips trembled. She apologized softly, "I'm so sorry, sir." But John wasn't done. He smirked, leaned back, and added, "Dad, it's time to get rid of her. She's too old to be useful." The words hit me like a knife. Everyone at the table went quiet. His wife whispered his name under her breath, asking him to stop. But he laughed, a proud, careless laugh, and went back to eating as if nothing had happened. I didn't speak. I looked at him, then at Mary, who stood there holding the bottle with tears in her eyes. I told her gently, "Mary, go rest." She nodded, wiped her eyes, and left quietly. The dinner continued, but the warmth in the room was gone. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in my study, looking at the family portrait hanging above the fireplace, my late wife smiling, holding John when he was a boy. I whispered to her picture, "You wouldn't believe the man he's become." By morning, my decision was made. I called my lawyer and asked him to come to the house. We sat together, and I told him to update my will. Everything, my estate, business shares, properties, that had John's name on it. I told him to remove it. Instead, I transferred it all to Mary. The lawyer looked at me, shocked. "Are you sure, sir? That's a big change." I nodded. She's the only one in this house who still remembers what respect means. Over the next few weeks, I fell ill. My doctor said it was my heart. Too much stress, too much worry. I was bedridden, weak, and frail, but my mind was clear. Grace and Linda took turns taking care of me. Mary never left my side. She'd bring me soup, sit by the bed, and pray quietly. John, on the other hand, barely visited. He said he was too busy with work. One afternoon, my lawyer visited to have the documents signed. Mary helped me sit up so I could hold the pen. My hands shook, but I managed. When I finished, I looked at her and said, "You've been loyal to this family more than anyone else. What I've done out of gratitude." She cried. She begged me not to do it. I smiled weakly and said, "It's not a gift, Mary. It's justice." A week later, John came storming into my room. His voice echoed through the hallway. "Dad! What's this nonsense about you changing your will?" I just got off the phone with the lawyer. I looked up at him from my bed, weak but calm. He continued shouting, "You can't be serious. You're leaving everything to the maid. To her." His sisters stood behind him, silent, watching. I said quietly, "Lower your voice, John. You're in the presence of the woman you humiliated. At least show her the respect you couldn't that night." He clenched his fists, breathing heavily. "You're making a mistake, Dad. She's just a servant." Mary stood near the door, tears in her eyes. I replied, "A servant who served this family longer than you've shown it love." He froze. For the first time, he couldn't find the words. I looked at him and said, "You once told her she wasn't useful anymore. Now, she's the one taking care of the man who gave you life. That's the difference between wealth and worth, my son." The room fell silent. He turned away, face red with shame and anger, and stormed out of the house. As the door closed, I felt a strange peace wash over me. Not because I'd punished him, but because I'd reminded him of something he had forgotten: humility. Mary came closer and said softly, "Sir, I don't deserve this." I smiled faintly and whispered, "Then you're the only one who truly does." Sometimes, it's not death that teaches a man a lesson, it's disappointment. Pride can make a son forget who raised him, but life has a way of humbling even the proudest heart. Respect isn't inherited, it's learned. And when a child loses it, a father's silence becomes the loudest teacher of all. If you enjoy our stories, don't forget to subscribe, share and leave a like.